I never liked taking late-night orders, but they paid better, and I told myself that was enough reason to ignore the unease. Most nights blurred together. Apartment buildings, sleepy suburbs, dim porches, the same motions repeated until my body worked on autopilot. That night felt different from the start. It was my last delivery of the shift. The app showed a single address highlighted in red, tucked deep inside an old district I usually avoided. Streets there were narrow, poorly lit, and forgotten by time. The kind of place where streetlights flickered not because they were broken, but because no one cared enough to fix them. The delivery instructions were short and precise. Leave the package at the door. Do not ring the bell. Do not knock. That wasn't unusual by itself. People worked night shifts, had sleeping children, social anxiety. I'd seen it all. But something about how final the message felt made me pause longer than necessary before hitting accept. The navigation took me farther from the main roads, past shuttered storefronts and buildings with peeling paint and darkened windows. My headlights cut through the streets like a blade, revealing cracked asphalt and sidewalks swallowed by weeds. Every block felt quieter than the last, as if sound itself was being absorbed. When I turned onto the final street, my phone briefly lost signal. Came back a second later, but that moment stuck with me. The building stood at the very end of the road, an old three-story structure with a faded brick exterior. Only one streetlight worked nearby, casting a weak yellow circle that didn't quite reach the front door. The rest of the building was swallowed by shadow. No cars, no lights inside, no signs of life. I parked across the street and sat for a moment longer than usual, my engine idling softly. I don't know why I hesitated. I told myself it was just fatigue, that my mind was playing tricks on me after a long shift. I grabbed the package and stepped out. The air felt colder than it should have been. Not just cool, heavy, like the kind of cold that presses against your skin instead of passing through it. My footsteps sounded too loud as I crossed the street, each one echoing off the buildings around me. The front door was old wood, scratched and warped, with chipped paint around the handle. No welcome mat. No decorations. Just a small plaque beside the door with a number that was barely readable. I placed the package exactly where instructed, centered beneath the door handle. Then I pulled out my phone. Company policy required a photo for proof of delivery. I framed the shot carefully, the door, the package, the address number. My screen brightened the darkness in front of me, and for a moment, the building felt like a set piece illuminated for a scene. I took the photo. The confirmation screen popped up instantly. But before I sent it, something made me look closer. In the reflection of the photo on the second floor, behind one of the windows I hadn't noticed before, there was a face. Clear, sharp, undeniable. It was pressed close to the glass, eyes wide open, staring directly at the camera. Not at the door. Not at the package. At me. My thumb froze above the screen. The face wasn't distorted or blurred like reflections usually are. It was detailed enough that I could make out the shape of the eyes, the pale skin, the dark outline of hair framing the forehead. There was no expression, no anger, no fear. Just attention. Focused, intentional attention. A chill ran through me, starting at the base of my neck and spreading down my spine. Slowly, instinctively, I lifted my head. The second floor window was dark. Empty. No movement. No silhouette. No reflection. Just black glass staring back at me. I lowered my phone again, heart hammering, and looked at the photo once more. The face was still there, unchanged. Felt wrong in a way I couldn't explain. Like the image on my screen belonged to a different moment than the one I was standing in now. Like the photo had captured something that existed slightly out of sync with reality. I didn't zoom in. I didn't try to analyze it. I sent the photo. The app confirmed delivery, and the order disappeared from my screen immediately. No rating request. No follow-up. Just gone. I stepped back from the door, suddenly very aware of how quiet everything was. Even my breathing sounded too loud. The streetlight flickered once above me, and for half a second the building seemed to shift. Not physically, but in the way your perception wavers when you're overtired. I turned around and walked back to my car without looking up again. As soon as I got inside and locked the doors, I exhaled shakily and started the engine. The radio came on automatically, filling the silence with static before settling into low music. I didn't recognize the song. I drove away faster than necessary. A few blocks later, my phone vibrated. A notification from the delivery app. Order updated. That wasn't possible. The shift was over. The delivery was complete. I pulled over under another streetlight and checked the screen. The order history showed the delivery still marked as complete, same address, same timestamp. But beneath the photo I had sent, a new line had appeared. Photo reviewed. I stared at it, confused. Then the image refreshed. The photo on my screen was no longer the one I remembered taking. The package was still there. The door was still there. But the window on the second floor was different. The face was closer now, pressed harder against the glass. And this time it wasn't looking at the camera. It was looking down, toward where I had been standing when I lifted my head, toward where I no longer was. A wave of nausea rolled through me. My hands shook as I locked my phone and tossed it onto the passenger seat. I didn't check it again for the rest of the drive home. That night I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the reflection of that window. Not as it was when I looked up, but as it existed inside the photo. Frozen. Patient. The next morning, curiosity overpowered fear. I opened the app again. The order was gone. No record. No history. No photo. I checked my phone's gallery. The image wasn't saved there either. I told myself it was a glitch. A server issue. Stress. Exhaustion. But later that day, while scrolling through local news out of habit, I saw a small article buried near the bottom of the page. An old residential building in the district I'd delivered to was scheduled for demolition. The building had been condemned for over a decade after a fire on the second floor left it structurally unsafe. No one had lived there since. No electricity. No active addresses. No registered tenants. That night I didn't turn on the app. I didn't take another delivery for weeks. But sometimes when my phone lights up in the dark, when a notification flickers on my screen for just a second before disappearing, I swear I see a reflection in the glass. Not behind me, not around me, but somewhere farther away, waiting for the next photo to be taken.